As I'm sure you're aware, I used to go ahead and play Zerg pretty much exclusively in the 1 versus 1 ladder aspect of the game, at the very least the first couple of years after the release. However, just about a year or so ago, I figured it would be a lot of fun, as well as like a great opportunity to go ahead and make some videos, I suppose, to also start practicing my Terran and my Protoss. And it's been a little while since I've actually last given you an update on where my offraces are currently standing, and today I wanted to be talking about Terran, and in particular my Terran versus Zerg. Now, for those of you that have been watching the live stream, you will probably be aware of the fact that I've been playing quite a lot of random, actually. I would say I probably play about, maybe like, if I have to give a number, probably about like 60% random and then like 40% Zerg. So this account right here, Winky Face, is the one that I exclusively play random on, and it's been going really, really well. We've touched 5,000 MMR with random as well, which is definitely pretty solid. And every now and then, we have started facing Grandmaster level players. Now, I don't quite want to spoil the result for you, but this is the very first time where I actually felt very, very happy about the result. I guess I just sort of spoiled it regardless. But anyways, so I've been improving quite a little bit, and today I wanted to be talking about the Terran versus Zerg matchup, because I was pretty proud about this result. I was very happy with the result, as I felt like I've finally been able to improve to a point where I actually can start taking on really high level players with my off races as well, which is something that I, haven't really been able to in the past. Now, of course, we have reached Grandmaster in the past as well with Zerg. Currently, I'm not a Grandmaster level Zerg player myself, just because I don't play it nearly as much, and of course, playing and talking at the same time will always reduce your skill level at least a little bit. But as far as Terran versus Zerg goes, I've really been focusing on the strategy that Innovation plays a lot when he focuses on the mech. As you may be aware, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video where I explained Innovation's Terran versus Zerg. I'll go ahead and link that video down below in the description of this one. And ever since that video, I've really just been exclusively going for the same strategy over and over and over again. Whenever I see a Zerg player on the ladder, and I happen to get Terran myself, I probably see about 50% or so of the players on the ladder play Zerg right now, and then, 1/3 of those cases I go ahead and get Terran as well. So we get quite, we get them quite reasonably often. I go ahead and play the strategy every single time, and when this game loaded up, I saw my opponent was Grandmaster, and I loaded up as Terran. I knew that I had to go for the strategy and execute it to the best of my abilities, to like the best thing that I could do. So, and when we actually played this match, I barely did any kind of commentary on stream. I just really focused as hard as I possibly could. And the nice thing is that we loaded up on this really tiny map as well, and it helps out a lot, because in this instance, it's just much easier to go ahead and get across the map. In case you are unfamiliar, Innovation's mech build is focused around 2 factories early on, and he makes a lot of Cyclones and a bunch of Hellions then as well. And a little bit later on into the game, he starts switching those units out and goes for a bunch of Siege Tanks instead. So first, he goes for a single Reaper, then an expansion, then he adds on 2 factories as well for Cyclone Hellion play. The 3rd command center goes up while he's actually harassing, and then after the 3rd command center and the armory and whatnot are done, then he adds on 3 more factories, and he produces siege tanks and tech labs and whatnot out of those buildings instead. And that's exactly what I've been practicing as much as I possibly can. Now, one of the things that I have realized ever since making that video is that it really all comes down to control. Like, you need to make sure that you control properly, and I felt like it's been going a lot better. And in this particular match, I know that we're on the smallest map. I know that we're on a map where this strategy is extremely good, so I figured, let's nail it down, let's get this one in, and try our very best to be improving onwards as well in this sort of a scenario. So as you can see, I'm already starting up my Cyclone production right now. There are a few Queens coming in, so I have to be careful that I don't get surrounded, because of course, we are trying to reach like a certain amount of critical mass, I suppose. I've started cutting out a couple of workers where I think it's been appropriate, so I can really like keep up with that production as much as I possibly can. And I've been doing this little thing that Innovation does as well, where he like rallies all of the incoming units on top of all of the units that he's already got to continue the harassment to the best of my abilities. So really, what we're trying to look for right now in this matchup is to really build up that economy while pressuring our opponent. And right here, I get the very first Queen kill, and I'm very happy about the current state of this, because I've really not lost a whole lot. Now, as you can see, my opponent did decide to go for a heavy Roach count, which definitely is the correct approach, but since I managed to kill that Queen, the creep spread has been denied very, very nicely, and as long as I cannot allow him, or I prevent him rather, from getting towards that 3rd, I'm in a great spot. So I decide to go for a scan, which is something I haven't done before, and deny his creep spread even further, knowing that it's gonna be very tricky for him to actually defend against this. And slowly, we're starting to deal with so many of his units, trying to manually target fire down that single Reaper there as well. Do get it right there on the Hellion. And right now, we can finally start pressuring his third base as well, because I finally reached a very solid amount. So just as I am thinking about starting up my third base expansion here as well, you could already see my SCV starting to move across the map. We get to a point where he decides to engage right on top of this third base. And eventually, we will be able to take care of pretty much all of the forces that he has. And with that, his third base is going to be under a ton of pressure. And while he is still producing a lot, you may already imagine that he's going to be in a very, very tricky scenario. And my opponent decides to straight up leave the game. Now, what is maybe a little bit of like a more like, I wouldn't say cheesy strategy, because I am playing macro here, right? But definitely a more aggressive style that does require your opponent to make, you know, at least a little bit of a mistakes, such as, for example, not getting the perfect creep tumor and then, you know, also losing a queen, for example. Like, if that happens, it's pretty much shut down immediately. But regardless, I was just playing a strategy that I have been practicing for a very long time right now, right? Well, not a very long time. I guess it's been a couple of months at this point. But regardless, like, I've been practicing that for a bit, right? And to finally be able to basically face off against someone in Grandmaster League, and sure, the map may be the perfect scenario for it as well, and all that kind of shenanigans, I was very, very happy with the result of this game, as for the very first time, I managed to beat a Grandmaster level player with my off races as well. And of course, I'm still trying to progress onwards. Gotta make sure that we get to the highest of highest ranks ourselves with random as well. That would be the dream if we manage to get to that point. For now though, still improving, slowly but steadily. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.